Brandy, and this is Kelsey, and we are here to teach you about the air punctuation component of whole brain teaching.
Before we get started, we want to explain the benefits of integrating air punctuation into the students' daily routines.
Air punctuation improves reading fluency, promotes the visualization of material, keeps all students engaged, encourages the use of voice and expression, incorporates kinesthetic movement, develops writing skills, and promotes rereading of material to improve overall comprehension. There are 6 basic signs representing the different forms of air punctuation. Throughout this informational video, we will address the use of capital letters, periods, question marks, exclamation points, commas, and quotation marks within an author's writing. The first sign we will describe relates to capital letters. The sign for capital letters is when referring to the first word in a sentence, proper nouns, or abbreviations, this sign should be used because the capital letter draws attention to its importance.
For example, school is fun. Because school is the first word of the sentence, it needs to be capitalized. Another example is my favorite restaurant is Dairy Queen. Because my is the first word of the sentence and Dairy Queen is a proper noun, they each need to be capitalized. One last example is I live on Sunset Boulevard. Because I is the first word of the sentence and Sunset Boulevard includes both a proper noun and an abbreviation, they each need to be capitalized.
The next sign we will describe relates to end punctuation. Both imperative and declarative sentences end with a period. The sign for a period is this. When reading, a period shows that you are to pause and take a breath before continuing on. Using this sign will help reinforce that idea.
For example, please wash the dishes. Another example will be, working out at the gym is not enjoyable. Finally, pizza from Pizza Man is my favorite.
Another end punctuation sign relates to the question mark. All interrogative sentences should be read with a little curiosity. The sign for a question mark is this. Using this sign will help remind your students to read with an inquisitive voice in mind. It also shows that because it is an end punctuation mark, a pause is still necessary before moving on.
For example, will you be my Valentine? Who stole my pencil? What on earth are you doing here?
The next sign we will describe involves an exclamation point. All exclamatory sentences end with an exclamation point and should be read with an emotion in mind. The sign for an exclamation point is this. Using this sign will help remind the students to read with their emotions. It also shows that because it is an end punctuation mark, a pause is still necessary before moving on.
For example, I can't believe we got a snow day. Ouch! That really hurt. Stop yelling at me.
Sometimes punctuation can occur within a sentence. When a comma is used, it is meant to tell the reader to take a short break. The sign for a comma is this. Whether used in a complex sentence, to separate a city and state, to list items, after an adverb or prepositional phrase, or to show in a positive, a comma tells the reader to pause before continuing on.
For example, the shopping list had eggs, milk, and cheese listed. I live in Centralia, Illinois. On Monday, we don't have school. Luckily, we get to sleep in. The teacher, Mrs. Smith, enjoyed her day off.
The final form of air punctuation involves the use of quotation marks. The sign for quotation marks is, quotation marks show that a character is talking, also known as dialogue, or that a piece of information was taken explicitly from a text, which is also called text evidence.
For example, Hurry up! Mom shouted. Or we will be late for the game. Another example is, according to English colonists, Civil War began after the Puritans chose to rebel against King Charles I. Wow! Was that the bell?
We hope you enjoyed our demonstration of the whole brain teaching concept of air punctuation involving question marks, exclamation points, quotation marks, capital letters, periods, and commas.
Before we go, we would like to leave you with this Chinese proverb.
Tell me and I forget. Show me and I remember. Involve me and I understand. Class dismissed.